they were there, the time came for the baby to be born. She gave birth to her firstborn, a son. She wrapped him in cloths and laid him in a manger because there was no room for him in the inn. God had a messy plan, a plan to save the world, and to do that, he was going to send his son. Where does the God of the universe send his son? Where does the King of Kings and Lord of Lords come? A barn, a stable, a manger of all places. Certainly no place fit for a king. But then again, this was no ordinary king. When I say messy, I mean messy. It was a barn, a stable. And so you have animals and animal stuff, manure, mud, a pitiful place for people, much less the King of Kings, to be born. Why would God do that? Well, I can't tell you for sure, because the prophet Isaiah says that our thoughts are not his thoughts and our ways are not his ways. But that same prophet 400 years before said, all we like sheep have gone astray, each one to his own way. And the Lord has laid our iniquities on him. You see, Jesus came to a messy place. Yeah, it's a barn and it's messy. But more importantly, he came to a messy world. Why? Because the shepherd was about to take care of his lost sheep and prepare a way for them to go home. That's what a shepherd does. He lives where the sheep live. He sleeps where they sleep, and he eats where they eat. That got Jesus into trouble. Why did he eat with sinners? Because that's what a shepherd does. An angel appeared to the shepherds in the field and said, "This will be a sign for you. You'll find the babe wrapped in cloths and lying in a manger." A sign. Do you ever wonder what that sign was? A sign for what? Maybe it was a sign that Jesus is accessible to everyone. A sign that the God who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills can relate to a homeless person. Because Jesus had no home. He had no place to rest his head. Maybe it was a sign that God would have nothing to do with the social status of mankind. A sign that he detests the splendor of humans because it's not worthy of him. But it was a sign for us that we should follow suit. In fact, the Apostle Paul would later write that we should have the same attitude of Christ, who, being in the very nature God, did not consider equality with God something to be grasped, but instead made himself nothing, becoming a servant, being made in human likeness. You see, being a servant is messy, and Jesus set this incredible example for us. He got down on his knees and washed feet. The God of the universe, the God who deserves the best of everything, got on his knees. He's the God who came and was laid in a manger, a feeding trough of all places. Why such a messy place? Because he was following a messy plan. So needless to say, that very first Christmas was dirty, grimy, it was filthy. But thank God it was, because without it, what a mess we'd be in.